Hey everybody, my name is Garrett McLaughlin and thank you so much for downloading the core training ebook for runners. What I want to do in this first bonus video is provide a little bit more value on the diaphragm and breathing and how that should positively impact your core training. Okay, so what we need to understand about the diaphragm is yes, it functions to improve breathing, getting air in and out of the system, but it's also this deeper core stabilization muscle that helps really set us up in a better position between the rib cage, the spine, and the pelvis. So when it comes to actually setting up for your core stability exercises, I always like to have people set up on an exhale because we're trying to find a neutral position where rib cage is down, spine is neutral, pelvis is neutral, so we can stabilize and use those muscles in the proper way to hopefully translate to better running performance and injury reduction. So if we just look at it from the side for a second here, if I'm tall in this position, a lot of people over time have developed this stiff, rigid, and more flared position at the rib cage. So what this does is actually make you more overextended at the lower back. We're in this mindset a lot of times of tucking the pelvis under, which helps put the pelvis in a better position, but it really doesn't take into consideration the rib cage. So what I have found over the years is if we can work on exhaling, letting all of the air out of the lungs, what it does is rib cage comes down, spine, pelvis become more neutral, and it automatically puts you in the best position possible to then perform your core stability exercises. So regardless of the exercise, it really doesn't matter. Everything I provided in the ebook, whether it's a dead bug, whether it's a side plank, a high plank, the Pavlov press, it doesn't really matter. This is your key setup position for all of these exercises. So just to show you here with the dead bugs, it's a very good starting point to teach exhaling and finding this neutral core position. Is if I'm laying on my back, I'm going to start by in through the nose, exhale out through the mouth, and really actually feel rib cage go down and compress. Some of you might be a little bit more stiff here. It might take you a few breaths to set up properly or a longer period of time to become more proficient at this, but inhale, exhale. Once I get into that position, then I can come up with my legs and my arms. I'm trying to maintain that position I set up with. So rib cage is down, core is engaged, right? There's not a lot of space under the lower back. I don't need to completely put it flat on the floor. I'm just trying to prevent it from arching more. So it's holding its neutral position. And then from there, while breathing comfortably, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Going through my repetitions. So what you'll notice there as I performed the dead bug, I did not breathe at specific points in the exercise. I didn't inhale as the leg goes away, exhale as the leg goes out, anything like that. I just focused on nice consistent breathing at all times, okay? Maintaining my breath, my exhalated position, rib cage down, core engaged. Continue to breathe, but as I'm holding that position and I'm breathing, I'm trying not to open up as I do it, right? So that's the tricky part when it comes to core stabilization. We need to set up properly, engage the core, get the rib cage down, hold that position, and then continue to breathe by expanding around the core as we perform the exercise. That's where the core stabilization exercises become challenging. A lot of people get into these positions, right? We'll say side plank, for example, get into the side plank and they're not setting up properly. They're sometimes trying to do a leg lift. You can hear I'm straining a little bit, not breathing properly. When it comes to core stabilization and most exercises in general, we should be able to maintain our breathing throughout performing that exercise. If you get to a position where you notice you are holding your breath, face is turning red, becoming very winded performing that core stabilization movement, usually that is a good indication of that exercise a little bit too hard for you. You did not set up properly, you cannot maintain your breathing throughout it, so you should probably take a step back. So those are a few tips on how to better understand breathing with core stabilization, it needs to be that key component of your core stabilization. We don't want to just do exercises to do exercises. We want to set up the system, the rib cage, the spine, the pelvis in its proper position. We want to use that diaphragm as a core stabilization muscle, but also a respiration muscle at the same time. We want to comfortably breathe as we maintain that neutral spine, pelvis, and rib cage position. So if you have any questions from this bonus video today, feel free, shoot me an email or respond to this. Would love to, again, provide extra detail if that's needed to help you see more success with your core training, but also your running moving forward. Thank you.